Now, Drake, one of the most successful musicians living on this planet today. You can love him, you can hate him, but you can't deny the fact that Drake is putting up different kinds of numbers. All that aside though, the last thing I want to talk about right now is how successful Drake is. We all know that. I want to talk about Drake in relation to how much effort Drake is actually putting into his music nowadays. I have a couple things to say about this, so yeah. Let's talk about it. Now, recently, a little over 2 weeks ago, Drake of course dropped the Dark Lane demo tapes. And you know, whenever Drake drops something, the whole internet kind of stops and gives their take on it because it is Drake and the guy is big as hell. I think when you get to this kind of level, even though someone like Drake has the, predictability stamp on him since so many people feel like they've figured him out, people's curiosity always seems to spark because you wonder, what can he do at this level? He's been pretty much running things in the game for a while, stayed relevant for more than a decade, but the golden question is Drake actually getting better? The answer to that is definitely not. There's a couple things that I personally think are holding Drake back. The first thing is Drake has a great and very powerful track record. Now, what does that have to do with anything? This is relevant because Drizzy has dominated so hard for the last decade to the point where any kind of decrease of relevancy is gonna be very noticeable. At this kind of level, man, when things have been going this good for you, I think that's putting Drake in a place where he's not really willing to take any risks with the kind of music he's making because the result of that is unpredictable. I genuinely don't think Drake even wants to give out the perception that people are losing interest in him. Now, in reality, that's never gonna happen. He's simply way too successful for that. What I'm trying to say is experimenting with the music for Drake and kind of finding a new sound or introducing a new concept musically speaking is out of the window. I think the proof is there. Just take a look at the music he's been dropping for the last 2 to 3 years. Now, this right here doesn't make the music whack, okay? It just makes us, the listeners, very certain about what we're actually gonna get from him. It absolutely kills the anticipation because now what's going through my head at least is, will I get the same thing from Drizzy on whatever he drops next that I've been getting for the last 3 years? And this is actually something that made Drake different from the rest since day one. Going into a new Drake album in the past, I always knew that I was gonna get something different in terms of experience. I think that's one thing Drake has always provided to people with his music. It's always been somewhat of an adventure that you're not sure where it's gonna take you. Is he gonna go full rapping mode from the start like he did on Tuscan Leather? Is he gonna capture the highs and lows of his crazy journey and put it all out there in an extremely honest, real, and eye-opening fashion like he did on Thank Me Later? I think Drake has lost that side of him as an artist. Now, of course, he can't always stay the same, and to be honest, I don't think he would have gotten to where he is today if he was still rapping the same way he was a decade ago. But when it comes to the relevancy aspect, think about the fact that he's been all up in our faces for the last 10 years. Have you noticed that? That's why you hear so many people talking about wherever you go, it's almost like you can't escape Drake. He's being played on the radio, people are talking about him, etc. He's simply everywhere. That's Drake in a nutshell. You know, the quote-unquote issue with Drake nowadays is I think he's just so big to the point where he can do anything and the love is automatically gonna overshadow the criticism. Of course, he's worked his whole life to get to a place like this, so really at the core it's nothing negative, it's not really an issue, but I do think this is definitely handicapping him from an artistic point of view. Views was probably the beginning stage of this declining Drake. Looking back at it now, I actually liked Views. I think it had a lot of just amazing songs on there. I don't think it was bad at all. I just think musically speaking it was a little bit all over the place for being a Drake project. Maybe a lot of us felt that way because if you're reading This Is Too Late set the bar so high, and plus Drake was very much rapping on that one. At the end of the day, this is what happens when everything you drop gets validated no matter the level of quality that drop might have. Obviously, this isn't really something that's only exclusive to Drake. I think every single really successful rapper battles this, but the difference between a Kendrick and a Drake is the fact that one is consistently managing to drop great bodies of work despite the level he's at, while the other isn't. Drake is always going to be watched, and I think as time goes on, the pressure will only keep on rising. Like I said though, he's at a level where he can do anything and still maintain this level of success. At the end of the day, Drake's dropping quality won't have a noticeable amount of people not checking for him. He's a household name in the game, so that's close to impossible. But the decline of Drake is a very real conversation, and the thing that worries me is I don't know if he's gonna get out of this slump. Drake will always have the numbers on his side, he's proven that, but can he keep on pushing the barriers music-wise? That's what I'm wondering. You know my take on this though. What do you think? Do you think Drake is getting better or worse? Definitely let me know in the comment section below and let's have a discussion about this.